The Battle of Karbala is one of the most important and sad events in Islamic history. It has echoed for centuries as a strong symbol of standing up, sacrifice, and strong faith. This battle isn't just a story of fighting, it's a story that has shaped the spiritual and moral feelings of millions of people around the world. It's a moment that keeps inspiring us, reminding us of the fight between what's right and what's wrong. This battle happened in the year 680 AD, in the dry plains of Karbala, which is now in modern-day Iraq. On one side was the powerful Umayyad army, led by Yazid, a ruler whose leadership was questioned by many. On the other side was Imam Husayn, the beloved grandson of Prophet Muhammad, along with a few loyal family members and friends. Even though they were few in number, they were united by their duty and commitment to upholding the values of truth and justice. Imam Husayn's camp had not only brave fighters but also women and children. Everyone knew the serious danger they faced. Even though they were greatly outnumbered, they refused to give in to Yazid's demands or to make his rule seem right, which they believed was unfair and corrupt. Their bravery wasn't just in fighting, but in not giving up their beliefs, even when facing certain death. The night before the battle, Imam Husayn gathered his companions, giving them a chance to leave in the dark. Yet every single one chose to stay, bound by loyalty and faith. The stand at Karbala made this event a lasting symbol of sacrifice and the endless fight for justice. The red flags and banners raised at the shrine every year remind us of the bloodshed and the ideals saved. The story of Karbala isn't just about loss, but about moral belief winning over cruelty. For Muslims, the events of that fateful day are deeply woven into their identity and religious practices. The tragedy of Karbala is remembered every year in the month of Muharram, especially on the day of Ashura, through mourning rituals, reciting sad poems, and gatherings known as Majlis. These celebrations are not just about remembering but strong affirmations of the values Imam Husayn stood for: justice, dignity, and standing up against unfairness. Every year, millions of people around the world take part in processions, wear black as a sign of mourning, and think about the lessons of Karbala. The sacrifice of Imam Husayn and his companions continues to inspire people from all walks of life to stand up for what is right, even when things seem very difficult. Their sacrifice is a timeless call to resist injustice and uphold truth no matter the cost. Today, the city of Karbala and the golden dome of Imam Husayn's shrine attract millions of pilgrims from all over the world. The legacy of Karbala lives on, serving as a beacon of hope and an eternal symbol of truth, justice, and the lasting power of faith. Imam Husayn's sacrifice is at the heart of Muslim devotion. His refusal to accept Yazid's rule was a brave step for moral goodness, reminding believers that justice must be upheld, no matter what. Every year during Muharram, Muslims mourn his sacrifice and think about his ideals, gaining strength from his example. The story of Karbala inspires those who stand up to oppression, making Imam Husayn a symbol of courage and righteousness. His sacrifice is a call to action, urging believers to stay strong in their search for justice. Majlis E Aza started right after the sad events in Karbala in the year 680 AD. After a lot of loss and pain, Imam Husayn's family, especially his brave sister, Lady Zainab, and his son, Imam Zain ul Abidin, decided to keep the memory of Karbala alive. Even though they were sad and tired, they gathered the people who survived, and started remembering the terrible things they had seen. These first gatherings weren't just for mourning, but also acts of protest, making sure that the story of Karbala wouldn't be silenced or forgotten by the cruel rulers of that time. In those early days, Majlis E Aza was a very personal and emotional thing. Families and close friends often gathered secretly in their homes to share their sadness and think about the sacrifices made by Imam Husayn and his friends. The atmosphere was very serious, with quiet crying, heartfelt prayers, and the reading of poems that told stories of loss, courage, and strong faith. These gatherings became a way to find comfort and unity, helping the community to heal and stay together when things were tough. As centuries passed, this tradition of MajlisEAza grew and changed. What started as small private gatherings slowly turned into bigger public events, with thousands of people joining in. Today, during the month of Muharram, whole communities gather in mosques, community centers, and even on open streets to remember the tragedy of Karbala. The size and reach of these gatherings have made MajlisEAza a central part of Muslim identity and religious practice, bringing people together across the world and through generations. Every community, whether in the Middle East, South Asia, Africa, or the West, brings its own special cultural touch to the Majlis. Some include local music, poetry, or symbolic items like alam and tazia, while others reenact events or hold processions. Despite these differences, the heart of Majlis-e-Aza stays the same. It's a place to remember, reflect, and strengthen values like justice, sacrifice, and kindness. The continued presence of this tradition shows the deep impact of the message of Karbala. For many, attending Majlis-e-Aza isn't just a religious duty, but a very emotional experience that connects them to their heritage and past generations. It's a time when families come together, elders tell stories to the young, and communities find strength in shared sadness and hope. In modern times, Majlis-e-Aza has also become a platform for social awareness and activism. Speakers use these gatherings to highlight the ongoing importance of justice, human rights, and Imam Husayn's stand against unfairness. Young people are getting more involved, organizing events and campaigns that turn the spirit of Karbala into positive action for their communities. In this way, Majlis-e-Aza keeps growing. It serves as both a memory of the past and a light for justice and unity in the present. In Majlis-e-Aza, there are traditions that touch your heart and make you think deeply. Stories and elegies tell the sad tale of Karbala, and often people show their sorrow by beating their chests. Parades bring people together to mourn and remember. These traditions make the values of justice, sacrifice, and togetherness stronger. Through Majlis-e-Aza, the legacy of Karbala continues to shape the thoughts of the Muslim community even today. Majlis-e-Aza is not just a ritual, it strengthens community bonds and deepens faith. These gatherings promote unity, bringing people from all walks of life together to reflect on the lessons of Karbala. The teachings of Imam Husayn inspire justice, honesty, and kindness within the community. Majlis-e-Aza encourages personal reflection and spiritual growth, urging participants to live by these values every day. This shared experience creates a strong feeling of belonging and support. Through Majlis, the message of Karbala remains a living source of inspiration and guidance. The Arbaeen pilgrimage is one of the biggest religious gatherings in the world. It brings millions of people to Karbala, 40 days after Ashura. Pilgrims often walk, which shows the difficulties of Imam Husayn's journey, and makes their dedication to his values even stronger. Along the way, local communities offer hospitality, which shows a spirit of kindness and togetherness. Arbaeen goes beyond borders, bringing together people from different backgrounds in shared devotion. This pilgrimage is strong proof of the lasting impact of Imam Husayn's sacrifice. Through Arbaeen, the legacy of Karbala continues to inspire global togetherness and kindness. The ways of mourning during Muharram and Majlis-e-Aza show the rich diversity of the Muslim world. Across continents and cultures, remembering the sacrifice of Imam Husayn is marked by a tapestry of rituals, each shaped by local history, language, and traditions. These practices are not just acts of remembrance but living expressions of identity and faith passed down through generations. While the main message of remembrance is universal, each region brings its own unique customs and ways of understanding to the observance of Muharram. From the architecture of the mosques to the melodies of the laments, the diversity is striking and beautiful. In South Asia, for example, the recitation of Marsiya and Nauha, poetic elegies and laments, fills the air with emotion. These verses, often performed in Urdu, are made to bring out the sorrow of Karbala and inspire reflection among listeners. Gatherings are marked by a deep sense of community, as people come together to share in collective grief and remembrance. In Iran, the tradition of taziyah, passion plays that show the events of Karbala on stage, brings history to life. Actors in fancy costumes reenact the tragedy, allowing the audience to directly experience the emotional weight of the story. These performances are both artistic and spiritual, mixing theater with devotion. In the Arab world, public processions fill the streets during Muharram. Participants march together, carrying banners and chanting in unison, turning cityscapes into spaces of shared mourning. These processions are powerful displays of togetherness and faith, attracting people from all walks of life. Special foods and local traditions add personal meaning to the commemorations. In many communities, families prepare traditional dishes to share with neighbors and guests, turning mourning into an occasion for generosity and togetherness. These meals often have symbolic meaning, connecting the act of eating with the memory of sacrifice. These cultural differences, whether in poetry, performance, procession, or food, make the observance richer, making it deeply personal and meaningful for every participant. Rituals become a way for individuals and families to express their sorrow, their hope, and their connection to a bigger story. The variety of these practices highlights the universal appeal of Imam Husayn's message. People of all ages and backgrounds come together, united by a shared sense of purpose and devotion, going beyond borders and languages. Through these different ways of showing emotion, the legacy of Karbala continues to bring people together in the search for justice, compassion, and faith, reminding us that despite our differences, we are bound together by the lasting power of memory. Muharram and Majlis Aza have a big impact on the economy, especially in areas with a large Muslim population. When pilgrims visit, it helps local businesses. Hotels, restaurants, and all vendors selling religious items benefit. Artisans and craftspeople get work making memorable items, which help support traditional industries. Infrastructure projects for gatherings create jobs and help community development. During this time, charity supports social welfare and strengthens community bonds. Economic activity further strengthens the values of justice, compassion, and unity from Karbala. Imam Husayn's legacy and the tradition of Majlis E Aza still mean a lot today. His stand for justice inspires people everywhere to fight against unfairness and to uphold good values. Majlis E Aza encourages deep thought, learning, and coming together, pushing communities to be kind and honest. The story of Karbala inspires movements for social fairness and human rights. In a world that's often divided, remembering Imam Husayn gives us hope and encourages us to work for a more just society. The legacy of Karbala teaches all of us to live with truth and kindness,